Well, first of all, we'd like to welcome you to the Fayetteville Lincoln County Museum. We're delighted that you're going to be with us for a tour today. First of all, Fayetteville Lincoln County Museum was established in 1985 by a very dedicated group of people whose pictures are on the wall over here. And this museum was situated in a very old plant building. It was the Borden Milk Plant. Came to Fayetteville in 1927 from Cincinnati, Ohio. They purchased milk from 5 counties, 1,200 dairymen, and milk came in on that side of the building, went out on this side in pound boxes of butter. It was a butter plant. And if you look at the floors, you see none of the floors are level. It's a red glazed brick with drains everywhere. Because every night, since it was a milk plant, they'd spill milk all during the day. They had to steam clean it and wash it down. This was an interesting place during World War II. World War II, this high bay area, which we're standing under right now, had some really large gas furnaces up there. And in World War II, we had to supply food to the Pacific campaign, the European campaign, through ships that had no refrigeration on them. So all the food had to be dried. This plant produced dried milk, dried eggs, and dried lemons for the soldiers and our allies during World War II. So that's a pretty significant role that it played. You may be interested in the name Lincoln County, where it came from. Of course, when you ask people, most times they're going to say Abraham Lincoln. Well, not so, because our state chartered Fayetteville Lincoln County in 1909, the same year Lincoln was born. So it wasn't Abraham Lincoln, it was General Benjamin Lincoln. Now, who was he? General Benjamin Lincoln was second in command to George Washington in the Revolutionary War. General Lincoln had the distinction of losing the biggest battle in the Revolutionary War, the Battle of Savannah, Charleston. 5,000 casualties, 2,000 captured, including himself. And later on, when the war ended with the defeat of Britain, General Cornwallis was supposed to surrender his sword during the surrender ceremony to General Washington, but Cornwallis couldn't see himself doing that since he was a general of the greatest army in the world at that time, been beaten by this little ragtag army. So he sent his second in command, so Washington didn't receive it. He refused to receive the sword from the second in command. He let his second in command, which was General Benjamin Lincoln. Now, who's Fayetteville named after? There are 13 Fayettevilles in the United States. The first one was in North Carolina, and a lot of the settlers from North Carolina came here to settle, and they named their town Fayetteville after the original Fayetteville in North Carolina. Fayetteville is named after the Marquis de Lafayette, French general who was involved in the Revolutionary War, who probably had as much to do with winning the war as did General Washington. So now you know who Fayetteville's named after, who Lincoln County is named after. Here's some pictures of the original Borden plant over here on the wall. It was a thriving industry, one of the first industries to come south of the Mason-Dixon line after the Civil War. And kind of a unique story how we got it. The president of Coca-Cola in Atlanta went north begging for industries to send more industries to the south because we needed industries bad, a very rural area. So that's kind of the story of this plant, and pretty interesting details. This plant was actually given to the museum by William R. Carter, whose display is right here. He ran a very successful construction company here in town. He was a World War II veteran that was involved in the Normandy D-Day landing. That's a ship he was on D-Day. That ship pulled up close to the shore at night and put him off in a whaling boat, and he went and gave medical supplies and ammunition to the Rangers that had climbed Point de Hoc.